Hi, have you ever thought about being a photographer or wonder what it takes to be one, what you should do or learn in order to be successful, or how to operate one of these? Well, today I'm going to explain the basics to you. Being a photographer is not about just snapping photos, but it's actually a lot of variables you have to learn about in order to do a good job. First and foremost, you must know how to operate a DSLR camera, which is this. You need to know what the settings are you need on your camera in order to capture the image you are looking for. You also need to know how to work the various editing softwares that there are out there. After you listen to my speech, I hope you can understand a little bit more about the work it takes to operate a camera and run a business. So the first thing I would like to show you is how to operate a DSLR camera, because it's the most important part of photography business. This is a DSLR. I own the Canon Rebel T6. A DSLR camera is the basic camera that a photographer should start with. The DSLR stands for a digital single lens reflex with an 18 to 55 milliliter lens. This is that lens. This works best for non-business photography, like for kids or pets or whatever you take on a daily basis. I also have the 50 milliliter lens, which works best for business, especially portraits. I would like to show you how to change the lenses now. That's the first big step. So this is the kit lens. This is how you zoom in and out. This is why I like this lens. You hit this button and then twist and it comes right off. Super simple. And then this is the 50 milliliter lens for portraits, and you put it on and you twist it until you hear it click and it's on. And that's all you can do. So the 18 to 55 milliliter lens, which is the basic lens you get with your camera when you buy it, it's known for to be a kit lens. It is mainly for beginners. I still use it a lot because I like how it zooms in and out. The only problem with it is that the images you take sometimes come out blurry or out of focus. They do not have a bokeh, which is basically a blurred background for things like portraits and family photos. You really want a blurred background in the photo because it leaves the focus part of the photo clean and crisp with a blurry background so that the people stand out. So if you're shooting things such as a portrait or family photo, the 50 millimeter lens is best, and it's what you want. My only complaint about that lens is that there's no zoom, so you have to step closer if you want a close-up and walk away if you want a zoomed-out picture. Next, I would be telling you how to turn your camera on and off and choose the type of lighting that you will need to take a proper photo. You hit this button to turn it on, and it's right beside the setting wheel, which we'll be talking about soon. After you turn it on, you need to decide what you're taking a photo of and what kind of lighting you have. That way you know what settings you have to be on and whether you need an external flash, which is this. Or you have the on-camera flash, which is this. If you don't have the proper lighting, odds are, if you're not in front of a window or in a sunny area, you're going to need an external flash, which is this. There is an on-camera flash, but is not very good in any situation without a diffuser, such as a balloon, coffee filter, or one that you purchased, because it flashes directly at what you're pointing at, causing it to only show, for example, your face. Nothing else around it will be lit. If you use a diffuser or off-camera flash, you will light up the entire room instead of just your face, because the light bounces off the walls. So it lights the entire room. Otherwise, with the on-camera flash, your face is white and the background is black. So this is how you open the on-camera flash. You just hit this button with the electric bolt, and it opens this, and you take the picture. And then if you don't want to use that, you use this, and you just slide it on and screw it on, and you take your pictures. You can fold it down, and that's the external flash. Now we can talk about the setting wheel. Now that you know the basics of the lighting and flashes, you can focus on your camera. Now we can look at these. This is the setting wheel with this one. The main thing about these is each of them change the three things I mentioned above. The ISO, the aperture setting in your camera, which change the lighting, the focus, and the background blur. These settings are another important part of your camera that you must know in order to use it properly, but luckily for beginners, there are pre-made settings for each one. Here's what each setting is for. This is the wheel. They're pre-made. You just twist it. There is manual, which you do everything yourself. Your aperture, your shutter speed, your ISO. There is auto, which does everything automatically. There is no flash. There's creative auto. Portrait, which is for portraits, obviously. Landscape, which is for outside. Close-up, which is for flowers. There's sports, there's food, night portraits, and video. So you would just spin the dial and pick which one you want. These all change the three settings. The ISO, which measures the sensitivity of the image sensor. The lower your ISO setting is, the more light it absorbs, making your photo brighter, but also causes a lot of problems getting a clear photo unless you use a tripod. This is for dark photo sessions. A higher ISO setting would be absorbing less light, making the photo darker, which would be used for a beach or somewhere really sunny. The aperture is your field of depth. That is the thing that gives you the blurry background, but keeps the main focus clear. The shutter speed is also used to help make your photos brighter or darker. So those are the basics for each setting of your camera. Now we can talk about taking your picture. You hold this button halfway, and then it snaps your picture. And then you can either look through your viewfinder, this one, or you can hit this button and look through the screen. After you take the photo, you can review it with this button, this triangle button right here. You can view pictures. You can either review one picture or many. So what do you do with your pictures when you get them off your camera? Well, photographers have to edit them through Photoshop and Lightroom. Lightroom is where you upload your photos to adjust the lighting and colors. Then you upload them to Photoshop, where you adjust the background, fix the skin, take objects out. You can also add things to your photo. After you run them through Photoshop and Lightroom, you're ready to send them to your client. So that's pretty much the basics of operating one of these. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you for listening.